According to Institute of Management Accountant 1998, activity-based management can be defined as a discipline that focuses on the management of activity as the route to improving the value received by the customer and profit received by providing this value. It uses activity-based costing as the basis. Activity-based costing can be defined as a methodology that measures the cost and performance of activities, resources, and cost objects. Activity-based costing recognizes the causal relationship of cost driver to the activities. Basically, activity-based management can be divided into two categories, which are operational ABM and strategic ABM. Operational ABM is focused on efficiency, asset utilization, and lowest product cost, while strategic ABM is focused on product design, market segmentation, and distribution channels, which choose the right strategy to operation by selecting the most profitable customer and eliminate unnecessary activities.
Activity-based management can be used in a variety of businesses such as manufacturers, service providers, non-profit organizations, schools, and government agencies. For instance, ABM can be used to evaluate the profitability of the company's new products. The marketing and production costs can be used in the analysis activities. Another example is ABM can be used to determine the profitability of the research and development department by utilizing the investments and contributions made to develop new products or improve the existing product. Next, I will proceed to the step in implementing activity-based management. These are the steps in implementing ABM, including planning, analyzing, costing, documenting, gathering, developing, and integrating. The first step is planning phase by determining the purpose, objective, and expectations of each of the components. Next, analyzing activities of the companies by following the key steps, including value-added analysis and identifications of the cost drivers. Another step in implementing ABM is identifying the cost of activity or products of the company. Aside from that, the documenting of the analysis results have becoming one of the important aspects in implementing ABM. The completed works, recommendations, and conclusions should all be documented for the future references. Furthermore, during the planning phase, the company should prioritize the gathering information and data so that it will be easy for them to make any analysis. The next step is creating a continuous data collections and reporting system so that the organizations can make a better decision making. Last but not least, the company must integrate ABM into its existing management practices so that they will achieve full integrations of the activity-based management.
Next, we move to benefits of ABM. According to Cartus, operational ABM can reduce costs and higher revenue through better resource utilization and cost avoidance, since it works to enhance efficiency, lower costs, and asset utilization. Second, strategic ABM can create and sustain a competitive advantage in marketplace because ABM attempt to alter the demand for activity to increase profitability. Last but not least, activity-based management also can reduce customer response time through recognizing activity consuming that have the most valuable resources and recognize and eliminate non-value activity. Customer also can appreciate a quick response time to their order.
These are the weaknesses when implementing the ABM system. Firstly, the ABM was expensive to adopt and maintain, since all of the benefit and expense of a cost object can be converted into monetary terms. It is more complex than the traditional management accounting system. The problem is that a new strategic direction might be costly in the short term, but has a long-term return opportunities that are difficult to measure using an ABM analysis. For instance, an ABM analysis might suggest renting an expensive office to save money. However, an organization must have a modern workspace in order to recruit a new talent. Secondly, some practices have an implicit value which is not necessarily represented in a financial value added to any product. It means that a particularly pleasant workplace may help recruit and maintain the best employees, but it may not be seen as adding value in operational ABM. Besides that, a strategic ABM mechanism may identify a customer as a low-value customer if they indicate a loss based on committed activities yet open up in leading a new market. Lastly, the performance of ABM also relying on the ABC's implementation. ABC stands for activity-based costing. It ensures that if an organization fails to fully enforce ABC, we will not be able to reap the advantage of ABM. Next, we move on to the issues and challenges in implementing ABM. Understanding the implementation of ABM is important, but as anyone who has actually undertaken a project of this magnitude knows, there are many risks and issues that can arise during the project's life cycle. Therefore, these are issues and challenges that the organization has to face during the implementation effort. First, lack of senior management support and involvement. Top management support is needed not only prior to the start of the project, but also must be maintained throughout its implementation. Loss of support can occur if the execution takes too long or the expected result do not materialize. So, full implementation of ABM within the organization and management system would be possible if top level in the organization does not support activity management, take control of it and internalize it as a better way of doing business. Secondly, inability to express the project's goal by planning team and failure to establish a dedicated project team. The basic information of ABM must be linked to manage the organization and its ongoing operation. If the implementation team cannot agree on the solution to this question, which is why it is doing the project, therefore the linkage between ABM and the strategic operational objective of the organization cannot be clearly defined. They often struggle to form a dedicated project team if they don't know what the company needs in terms of financial, operational, and strategic information that the organization expects. As a result, it can be challenged for an organization to adopt the ABM in the long run, since complete ABM integration does not happen immediately.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Izzati binti Rusli. So I will proceed with the third issue and challenges of implementing activity-based management. The third one is personal resistance to change. As we know, personal resistance to change is the major behavioral barrier facing any change effort. Activity-based management is not immune to this problem. The tendency of a body at rest to remain at rest is as common a problem to human organism. It takes energy to move away from the status quo, to embrace a new way of thinking about and doing work. With this newness comes the risk arising from fear of unknown, lack of understanding of the new system, and uncertainty regarding how activity-based management will affect their job performance and standing in the organization. The last issue is many of the resources used by a company are joint or shared among several areas or users. Activity-based management cannot make this fact go away. In fact, one of its major benefits is to force the organisation to deal directly with the issues surrounding shared resources and to determine who use resources or activity, why and how much. This information can go a long way in creating cost consciousness and in reducing the total cost incurred by the organisation. The issue include inaccurate assignment of cost to activity and to cost object. Second, resources and activity drivers are too high a level of detail. Third, activity drivers do not adequately reflect the consumption rate and pattern of their respective activities. Fourth, capacity or potential of the resources in the pool to support work is not defined. Fifth, all habits such as allocation of top-level costs are not broken. Sixth, responsibility and controllability of the cost is not cleanly identified. And lastly, excessively complex assumption and assignment are made. Next, we will discuss on the recommendation for the solution for organisation to deal with the issues and challenges that we have mentioned on the previous slide. Firstly, expose senior manager to potential benefits of activity-based management through visit to other successful business and via benchmarking reports. It is because top managers ultimately have the responsibility for authorizing and making decisions. They are largely responsible for approving and implementing significant changes. Second, the organisation and management can thoroughly comprehend the continuing commitment cost of activity-based management before adopting it. The management should be well aware of the long-term engagement risks, its strengths and weaknesses. Then they will easily explain how the activity-based management project can provide change in that field and relate the effort to key business goals. Next, one key to overcome fear to change is training. The use of role-playing, simulation-based scenario analysis, and case exercises can help employees learn about a new system and its impact. Through play, threatened individuals can find new ways to succeed using approaches and information more closely tied to the strategic and operational goals of a process-driven organisation. If the resistance encountered is judged to be too large to manage through training alone, it may become necessary to add a layer of detail to the activity-based management system at the intra-departmental level. Activity costs may then be rolled up from the data at the departmental level. While this solution adds cost and complexity to the activity-based management system, it may provide the essential compromise needed to gain departmental and organizational support.
As a conclusion, the inability to report accurate product, service, customer or process costs, as well as provide useful feedback to management for operational control could lead the managers to make the decisions based on the inaccurate and inappropriate cost and profitability information. So, activity-based management is one of the developed cost and management accounting technique to solve any shortcomings from the traditional accounting techniques. ABM is expected to help the managers to detect potential problems, identify opportunities for improvement, and turn those opportunities into action so that the whole organizations become more competitive and profitable. That's all from our group. Thank you.